That's how the colonel wanted it.
Yeah, but I ain't being railroaded.
I'll meet you back at the barracks. Yes, sir.
Well, Lieutenant?
I'm going to need a few things, sir. Who has Bedford's personal effects?
We do.
I'll need to see them. And the photographs that were taken of the scene. And of course, his body.
What did Scott tell you?
Sir?
You were with him all day. What did he tell you?
I'm sorry, sir. I can't reveal that.
Sure you can.
Attorney-client privilege, sir.
Only an attorney has attorney-client privilege. I need to be briefed on everything that Scott intends to testify to.
Sir, you're going to be president of the court-martial. How can I possibly discuss our case with you?
Are you suggesting that I would betray Lieutenant Scott? That I would share details of his case with the prosecution?
No, sir.
Scott followed Bedford out through the night latrine. If he testifies to that fact, every German in this camp will know how we get in and out of the barracks after dark. And every man in this camp would be compromised because of that. Are you following this, Lieutenant?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, Scott will testify that he went out through a hole beneath the stove in the barracks. And you will make certain that he is clear on that. Do we understand each other, Lieutenant?
We do, sir.
Dismissed.
Permission to speak, sir.
Speak freely.
Scott thinks this is all just for show. He thinks you passed sentence as soon as the body hit the ground. Is he right?
Bedford's footlocker is in my barracks. I'll make sure you get it.
Not much to look at, is he?
Did you know him?
No, not personally. But my guards certainly seem to. These are for you.
Thank you. How well? Your guards. You said they knew him. How well?
Well, you'd have to ask them about that. This is yours too, I believe. We found it on his wrist. But with the inscription, and those new boots on your feet, I made the assumption.
It's a little hard to imagine, Colonel. Your guards, sitting for an interview.
I can arrange it. I can arrange anything you like. It seems only fair, what with your colonel throwing you to the wolves.
I'm not sure I follow you.
Really? Yale isn't in a habit of accepting half-wits. At least it wasn't when I was studying there. Oldest member of the class of 28. My fellow students voted me hardest worker. But we can swap stories some other time, can't we? Right now we've got a trial to prepare for. It's a sincere offer, Lieutenant. Anything I can do to help. Truly.
And exactly where were you, Major Fussell, on the night in question?
I was walking the area behind this theater and the Australian compound.
At about what time?
Oh, maybe about 1 o'clock in the morning.
And can you tell the court what you saw?
The Schwarze Lieutenant Scott was kneeling over the body. It looked to me like he was checking that the man was dead. I blew my whistle and he started to run.
And what did you do next?
Yeah, I would have shot, but it was dark. And so was he.
Major Fussell, how well did you know Sergeant Bedford?
A little, I think.
You traded with him regularly?
Traded?
Bartered. Cigarettes for a pair of boots, chocolate for some spare parts?
No, I never did this. A Kriegi trading with a German soldier. I never saw it.
Am I allowed to repeat what he actually said, Captain?
You may, Private.
Lieutenant Scott said, I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you, Bedford.
Corporal, have you ever heard any other man threaten a fellow soldier during your time in the Army? Better shape up or I'll kill you. I'll kill you if you touch my cigarettes again, that sort of thing?
Yes, sir.
I'll bet you've even made such a threat yourself once or twice.
Suppose so.
Corporal, did you ever actually kill any of the men you threatened in this manner?
No, sir. But I'm not colored. I can control myself.
So you too had heard the threats made by the accused against Sergeant Bedford?
Your Honor, this being the fourth prosecution witness called to testify in this matter, if the defense will stipulate that the accused did indeed threaten the life of Sergeant Bedford, could we dispense with any further testimony to his having done so?
Your Honor, Sergeant Webb is being called as an eyewitness to the crime itself.
He's what?
Is that right, Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Sir, that's a lie.
Your Honor, the sergeant will testify that on the night of the murder, he watched through a window in Barracks 27 as Lieutenant Scott accosted Sergeant Bedford outside the theater and broke his neck.
Your Honor, he did no such thing. I was standing right beside Sergeant Webb at the exact time of the murder. He saw nothing of the sort.
The hell I didn't. You don't know what I saw.
Sir, I request that this court instruct this witness as to the consequences of perjuring himself in a
Put his
court-martial.
hand on the Bible and swore to tell the truth, Lieutenant. That's
Objection,
good
Your
enough
Honor.
for
We've
me.
had no prior notice
Sit
of this
down,
testimony.
Lieutenant.
Your Honor, his bias alone
Lieutenant!
demands.
Sit down, please.
I'll catch up with you.
You gotta go make some trades, Barracks 18.
See if we can get me some smoke.
Webb. You're a lying sack of shit, you know that?
Yeah, maybe you ought to mind your own
This
business.
doesn't concern you, West.
Hey, Lieutenant.
Or you, any of you.
What do you know, Joe? George S. Patton just showed up.
Return to your barracks, Corporal. Take your two friends with you. So what is it, Webb? Up there, today. Well, you think you owe it to Vic?
Why are you so bent about that flying bellhop, anyway?
He's a soldier.
Vic Bedford was a soldier. He fought. He had courage. But you wouldn't know too much about that, would you, Lieutenant?
You lied in there today. You didn't see what happened any more than I did.
I didn't have to. I know.
Not good enough.
It's good enough for McNamara.
Sorry about what happened in there today, Lincoln. I didn't see it coming.
You saying that's the first time you've seen a man lie through his teeth holding his hand on the Bible? I was writing a letter to my father. Figured I should tell him first. He was part of 369th Infantry in the last war, the old 15th. He was the first Negro troops to go into action in France. Did your father serve?
My father was in headquarters. He had an 8 on his shoulder, too. His father made sure of it. That's how we do things in our family.
That's a shame.
Got your testimony to prepare.
Yeah.
This'll be easy.
Lieutenant, how are you? Not too well, I imagine. Come on up. That was quite a beating you took today. It's warm inside. You read Mark Twain? He's wonderful.
Colonel, I have witnesses to prepare for.
Yes, I know. It's why I wanted to see you. We keep a library of all American military manuals. I thought this one might be of particular use to you.
I can't accept this, Colonel. We have a policy about
Lieutenant, without this, your client will face the firing squad. Would that be better?
Your son?
Yes.
Where's he fighting?
He is not anymore. The Russian front. Novgorod. Horrible place.
I'm sorry.
I killed my share of English and French, I suppose, in the First War. They had fathers too. It's verboten, you know. Negro jazz. These might be the only copies of their kind in the entire Reich. But I'm quite fond of them. Nice to read by, anyway. Takes a man right back. Take a seat.
Thank you for your time, Colonel.
Lieutenant. Enjoy the manual.
New order, gentlemen. Captain Sisk, is the prosecution prepared to call its next witness?
We are, Your Honor.
Begging the court's pardon, sir.
Yes, Lieutenant?
Before we continue, Your Honor, it's been brought to my attention that the court may have overlooked a few procedural matters yesterday. I'm referring to the U.S. Army Manual for Courts Martial, Chapter 12, Sections 57 and 58.
Make your point.
According to these sections, Your Honor, the court was obliged yesterday to ask the accused if he wished to challenge any members of the court for peremptory disqualification before any pleas were entered.
A little late in the game for that, isn't it, Lieutenant?
Nevertheless, it is a right specifically granted to the defendant.
Very well. Does the accused wish to challenge any member of the court now?
We do, Your Honor. You, sir.
Request denied. Proceed, Captain Sisk.
Sir, according to Chapter 12,